in this video, I'm going to be talking about what I'm going to be doing differently with my inner child as I prepare for 30. It has been a very interesting decade, to say the least, but I'm very grateful for every lesson that I have received, and I am ready for the next decade of my life. And I'm going to be bringing you on this journey on how the different glow ups of my life has helped me prepare for this moment. I will say this glow up is different because in a lot of ways, the emotional, physical, and spiritual aspects have really helped me, and I want to share it with you to see if it's something that could be beneficial. So you don't necessarily have to be leaving your 20s. This can be at any point in time. These are just the lessons that I have learned in my personal life up to this point. But I encourage you, if you have a journey or you haven't started one yet with your inner child, I highly encourage that you do so. You'll be so happy you did. And it honestly just frees everything inside of you. If you give them a voice, they'll certainly thank you for it. So for part one, the emotional glow up, this one is kind of a segment of emotions. If I'm being really honest, of course, just the roller coasters, the highs, lows, the peaks and valleys. And my 20s certainly was a big moment of learning a lot of things in my life and just how to manage them, how to manage and understand my emotions, better process them so that I could be a better person to those around me and those I love, but also to myself. Being an only child, I've always been very reflective. I had to be really mindful, was very observant, very curious as a kid, still curious now. I'm not afraid to ask questions. A lot of the rituals that I have involve mirror work of just loving who I see when I look at the mirror, when it comes to saying affirmations to myself, when it comes to speaking life into myself. Those things are really important because I was blessed to have two parents who really just poured that into me. So I kind of took it and ran with it. There's a lot of elements too when it comes to the reparenting process as well, because one of the big emotional factors that I can say from my 20s for sure was losing my mom at 22. That reshaped a lot of things that I can say that has still stayed with me as I am about to approach 30. And I can say the aspect of reparenting in a lot of places where I still needed that type of love or support, and finding where it is and nurturing it and just going to give myself grace to continue to grow and heal in that process. I think that's the biggest part. The emotional process was acknowledging it, healing through it, and then making rituals to make sure I continue to honor it, strengthen it, and shape it as I went on. Another point I really enjoyed and I would say was really crucial was journaling what my inner child wanted to say. I have been journaling for over 19 years. It's really hard and crazy to believe. However, there have been so many moments when I was journaling and I was very optimistic, and nothing is wrong with that. Yet I would take the thing that wasn't really good at that time and try to work my way or force my way through it to say, like, it's positive. It's okay to acknowledge something as sucky, as something that just was bad. And that's okay to be honest with yourself to say that, but also to acknowledge those feelings, feel through them, work through them, and then continue on. And that actually helped me in so many ways. Just to write it and get it out of my system, read through it, look at it, and then just let it go. Because I knew myself well enough that I was going to go back and read my pages, and I think that's why I kind of kept it more on the positive end. Being optimistic when it came to a lot of things that I've experienced in my life, but also acknowledging it has really helped me to sit down and feel through those things. And knowing myself that I would go back and I was going to read the pages, knowing that I was positive in that way, I kind of know it, but it's like almost like I was lying to myself that I know that that moment really did suck for me. But also, if I was going to read it back, I would like to know that I was able to persevere and get through it, which of course future me, which would be then present, knew that I got through it. I just think it's okay to acknowledge it for a moment. I'm always big on that. It's like you talk about it, sure, get it out, but then also just think of the things that you're grateful for. Think of the things that maybe not a lot of people may have, or just think of the things that you could easily take for granted. And that had always been like my grounding aspect in all of my journal entries, and I can appreciate that. A lot of people, when it comes to activities or practices, you will usually hear, write down 3 things that you are grateful for in the morning. I sometimes say them, I sometimes write them down, but I'm always thinking about them. And writing them down and looking back over them over the years has really helped me a lot. Journaling in that way has been a huge aspect. It's really been a grounding piece in this last decade. Setting boundaries that are rooted in softness. Now this one is really big because boundaries in general are uncomfortable. Boundaries can be uncomfortable for even the one who is setting the boundaries. It can be uncomfortable for the person who's receiving the boundaries. And that's why I kind of want to talk about the softness piece. I'm at a point in my life that I just know that I need softness. I deserve softness. I am patient, I am loving, and I am kind with others, and I demand that exact same thing in return. I have no capacity for a love that is tough or any type of thing that is just not well for me. If it doesn't do well by me, it's just out of my capacity of which I am willing to do. I'm willing to put a boundary up. And it's not that I'm being rude. I'm just saying I just don't have the capacity to do this. And that is one thing when I think about even in my life, in my past decade, where even like on the maternal side of my family, tough love was something that was just given. My great grandnana was hard on my nana, and my nana was hard on my mom, and my mom was also hard on me. And that cup is full. I have no more tough love to receive. I'm not receiving any more tough love. I put that boundary for myself. And that goes for anything or anyone where they try to categorize it as tough love or being tough on me. I'm not accepting it. And that is one thing when it comes to the boundaries that I have set in my life that has been such a integral part of the peace that I have now, because I have taken these several years and I have really worked on myself in solitude, and it has allowed me to have a peace that I am just so grateful for. And so on an emotional side, I've become very grounded and very self-aware and very logical and practical, but just more aware and in tune with myself. I think the emotional aspect of it has been so sound because I took the time to really have an amazing relationship with myself, and that is the biggest piece. If you make sure that you have a relationship with yourself, you really can do a lot of things when it comes to understanding your emotions, knowing why you may get triggered with certain things, what's causing you to feel off or beside yourself. When you are really in tune with yourself, you're able to know and pick up on these things and navigate around them much quicker. And so for the emotional piece, I definitely can just say journaling, setting boundaries, and just knowing where you are, knowing and understanding yourself and how you're feeling. And once you know that, acting on it for you is something that you will always appreciate and will always be happy you did in the future. Part 2 is the physical glow up side. Physically, I have been on this journey of making sure that I love myself in every sense of the word, from the food that I put in my body to the workouts that I give, and just listening to my body from the time of when I'm warming up to the time that I'm cooling down. I want to make sure that I'm doing everything well by my body. So that does include gentle workouts. I've been doing Pilates some days, but I also have been going to the gym and slowly integrating weights back into my workout. And that has helped a lot because it has built my confidence. It's also built my endurance up again, building more weight, getting more cardio, more activity into my routine. Happy that I'm able to get back into a routine. For a long time, I had fallen out of a routine, and now to just have a structure again, it feels really nice, and it's so relieving because I'm able to get into the group of things. Even when it comes just to food, I've been very intentional with my meal plans. When it comes to what food I am making, I've been baking some amazing food, y'all. I've been using avocado toast. I made certain amazing omelets, cinnamon sugar protein pancakes, all those things for breakfast, of course. I've made shrimp stir fry, chicken brown rice over like with broccoli, and I've really focused on also how much protein I was taking in to make sure whatever goals it is that I want to achieve, I was doing the right things to feed my body, to give it what it needs so I can be able to have the results I want. And that has been so amazing because my inner child, I don't know why I thought I'm not a good cook, and yet I'm making all these great meals and they are just really nicely seasoned, and I would make meals for my parents many times. And so it's just been a wonderful time and healing moment for me and my inner child in that way, to just give our body what it needs to be able to do everything it wants to and needs to for me to be my best. And I appreciate that so much, and it just feels really good to just be clear of the mind and to also just have that part with your body, to just have that amazing relationship with my body, to be like, this is what it feels like to be well nourished, well rested. It's really good to be in tune. making your space your own. So definitely on a physical part when it comes to making sure that your space is your own. I went through my entire apartment and I finally packed every single box, and that was a huge milestone for me because I feel like I was just running for this past decade. I feel like I've been just running away from a lot of things in my emotional part of my life and holding on to things that I just wasn't able to control. And so I kept things in boxes. I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to look at it. And now I have sorted through everything. And all those boxes are gonna have things to give away. I literally have released a huge weight off of my shoulders, which also feels like physical weight I have left off of my shoulders in that way because of it. And it has helped me tremendously because I have made this place a beautiful sanctuary for peace. And I am just so grateful because when I walk into my space, I wind down and I feel tranquil. It's very serene. And that's exactly how my home, or how any home, in my opinion, should be. You should be able to come home from the world, decompress, and recharge before you go back out into the world. And I am so happy to say that that's something that I've been able to have here, and I continue to have that. So that is awesome too. Another way of owning your space or making a space your own, I do that at the office at my job. I took over an office just because I wanted it, so I took it, and also it allowed me to be more productive in my work. I basically said that it would help me be able to deliver better, and which it did. I had another screen I was able to set up comfortably in that space, and every time that my coworkers show up, I always find some type of way to decorate it and make it nice and welcoming, so when they are in the office, they do feel like they're welcome there. And that was something I always wanted to make sure is there's just a little bit of a touch that I like to do on things, just make people feel welcome. That's another instance that I enjoy. So when it comes to spaces, don't be afraid to step into a space and make it your own. Step into it and own it, and you'll be surprised at what other things happen when you do. Self-care rituals that feel devotional and not draining. Very important, because when it comes to a lot of self-care rituals, sometimes we want to be able to do a variety of things, but maybe we just don't have the energy or capacity that day to do it. And that's happened to me for a lot of times, for a lot of things. So a way that you can add to your self-care routine and ways that you can do that is both devotional and not draining. I have done recordings of affirmations. So sometimes I don't feel like waking up and saying 50 affirmations. So things that I have done is I've recorded my voice and I've recorded myself saying the 50 affirmations once. And then maybe when I'm getting ready for work or wherever I'm going, I put my headphones on and I listen to my voice as I say these words and I speak life to myself. I already recognize my voice. I know what it sounds like. But it's also those words that I'm saying that it goes past my conscious mind to my subconscious to tell me that I'm doing a good job or that I'm safe and that everything is working out for me. That has been very monumental. Saying different affirmations or even stories when it comes to manifesting things and just listening to it and just being able to hear it over and over again to know that I am living this life. I'm living my best life. I'm having an amazing opportunity to live out my dream. Anything like that has become very helpful in that way. I can say definitely when it comes to wrapping up physical, when I have decided to commit in the physical, I can say from all the steps when it comes from emotional to physical, it definitely is the foundation from the emotional side, because now once the emotions were worked through, I was able to really show up a lot more physically because of the fact that I had to really sort through all the mental clutter or barriers that I had in the emotional portion that I was dealing with in my life. And it helped a lot considering that physical is just kind of followed in with emotional and it kind of pours in back. So they kind of go into each other. They go hand in hand. And that has been a big difference. I was able to show up stronger in the physical area just because emotionally I was more sound and more collected. And for the final one, the spiritual glow up side of things. Spiritual, of course, can be different for everyone, but I'm just speaking of my own personal experiences. I have various occasions of things of dreams and synchronicities, but all of them have told me and have shown me that this is just the beginning and it's going to continue to get better because you continue to show up for yourself. I can definitely say sorting through my emotions and showing up for myself physically allowed me to have a more spiritual, more intentional content creating side of being more creative. It was hard to be creative if I had clutter around me, either if it was mental or if it was actual physical clutter. But But now I have the capacity to show up creatively and be more intentional, because the thing is, even though I wasn't able to be here in front of you all for months at a time, I wanted to be very intentional when I did come back, that I did have words and I had a message that could help somebody and make sure that it was delivered in the best possible way. And that was more important to me than just showing up and putting something out. Now with the intention of putting things out and planning it out and then actually getting the wheels turning in that way, it's a lot more intention behind the message. And I'm very glad to be able to come back and be able to share these stories. And I'm excited because a lot of the work that I've been doing behind the scenes, I can finally share my story, my testimony, my success stories, and all of it with you. And hopefully it can help somebody else. Definitely working through these portions allowed me to be consistent without burnout. And that's where that intention comes back, because if I didn't deal with the mental clutter, if I didn't deal with the physical clutter, I would have burned out. And I haven't burned out, thankfully, for YouTube. I always love the idea of showing up. I have so many ideas. It's a matter of scripting and filming and bringing them out. And I'm so grateful for that burnout has never come my way. I don't wish that on anybody. I have burned out before when it comes to work. It's not a fun place to be. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of grace with yourself to kind of slowly wean off of any tendencies that could be bad for you, just so you can build back into a process that could be healthy, and then staying consistent with that. And that can be tricky, but you have to give yourself grace. I feel like with burnout, the biggest key ingredient to coming back is grace. You burned out because you were pouring too much of yourself somewhere. And once you kind of get back into the groove of things, you just have to keep cheering yourself on. You have to be kind. That voice in your head has to be nice to you, and you have to just trust that it will get better. And that's the amazing part of just trusting that, because I'm at the point where it finally did. But you just have to keep with baby steps. Slow motion is still motion at the end of the day. You at least took one step. You're not at the same place you were before. So just keep that in mind. When it comes to honoring signs and dreams and synchronicities, I have a notebook on my nightstand next to my bed, because I have received so many signs in my sleep where I just had to wake up and I had to write something down, or I had to understand or interpret what it meant. I can say a lot of the things when it comes to what I want to do and just the people that I want to meet. I have had various dreams, and I feel like that alone is a whole nother video. I have had several dreams where I have sat down with people. I wouldn't necessarily say like I have their number, I can just call them up like, hey, do you want to go get coffee or something? And I've sat down and I've talked with them. I've had dreams where I had someone open a book to me and show me words. I've had dreams where people have spoken in different languages to me, and I understood and I responded to them in that language. And I'm just so excited and grateful for that experience, because it allows me to trust that if that's just a fraction of it, that's what's going to happen here in the real reality of things. Trusting that these things are all building me, they're all growing me. I am so grateful for every opportunity, because it's allowed me to be more intentional on how I show up with my work. So of course, since I'm doing these things with my inner child and I'm going to be honoring them, this is the one thing that I do want to say for my future self, who will be 30 soon. Don't forget to love yourself. Don't forget to remember how far you've come, and also look ahead to know that you have so far to go, but it's all beautiful. Give yourself grace, please. You really deserve every ounce of grace that comes your way. And to anybody who may have imposter syndrome, who may feel like things are just stacking on them, you deserve grace. You are worthy of grace as well. It's okay to fall down. Just don't stay there. Make sure that you get back up. There are people who are rooting for you. I am rooting for you. Definitely make sure that you get up. There is a community here to support you, and if you don't have a community to support you, come to my comments. I will support you. We have to come here and we have to come together. If anything, we all are here to grow and learn. And just a reminder, when it comes to life feeling uncertain, know that you are doing just fine. And remember that glow ups are not about becoming someone else. It's about being home, being so comfortable in your skin that you're safe. What's one thing you're doing differently for your inner child this year? I hope this video was helpful, but let me know in the comments, and I'd love to talk to you about it. Until next time, peace.